Hey, good Thursday morning, YouTube. Hugmeister's Garage. Back to day 4 of death and destruction at the she shed site. And today, I've got to finish wiring up the plug in that shed. And then we're slowly going to work our way this way. Looks like I got a little water overnight. But the reason this hole is open so big is I got to get that heating pipe in here. And actually I lucked out. I thought I was going to have to go under a drain line, but actually I think I can get it low enough where I can go under it. Of course, my digging skills, I found it the old-fashioned way. I put a tooth through it. But that's our line and stakes I put where the angle's got to be. So I'm going to clean that out just a little bit and drop that line in. And hopefully we can get this done today. I made that hole so big because I thought I was going to have to go on either side of that pipe and get under it. And I really didn't want to do that because I wanted to stay on, natural ground or undisturbed earth as I could. So when I set that 4x4 pad, I ain't got to worry about settling. But we're supposed to get some rain coming. And this is all like hard pan clay and rock. And maybe if I get this done today, we get a couple days of rain, it'll settle a little bit before the shed shows up, and we'll be all right. But we just got to remember to keep coming this way, and hopefully you didn't forget something, and you got to go back over it. Because once I start setting them 4x4s, I'm not going to want to drive that excavator, because I'm going to set those, and as I get one set, I'm going to pin it level, then work off that initial one and work my way back. So here we go again. All right, our generator shed is ready to go. Let's flex back into our new panel. Got all the holes sealed so the spawn of Satan can't crawl up through here and scare the hell out of me when I open the door. And I'll explain to you how this works. This plugs right into our generator when it's in here, and that back feeds through that 1-inch pipe that we ran, and that feeds into the interlock breaker on the panel. So that way I can keep my generator out here. It's undercover, and it's actually nice now that I got this lip on here. I can just keep it swept off if I need it. And I made this little bar so that just goes in there. Then it goes in that pin right there. So when it's running, it keeps fresh air in here. And I got that baffle plate that goes against the wall. And that's an old steel, went to a stove, I think. But that keeps the wall from getting too hot from the exhaust. And we got plenty of vents. And actually that's a forced air fan I put in here. And that plugs into the generator plug. So whenever that generator's running, it feeds fresh air into here. It helps keep her cool. Got an old emergency light, so when the power does go out, that's off our regular power. And when I come out, that light will be on, so I got a little light. And that's our Eero Wi-Fi transmitter I put in here, and that picks up the signals off the boiler for the temperature thing, but that's probably going to go away when I get the new Wi-Fi spot put in the shed. And there's the Lynn's cord that goes out to her golf cart charger. I might move that this way a little bit, but as soon as I get the oil change in that Jenny, she's ready to go back in. This part will be complete. All right, we're back here at the garage. Brought the tractor down outside. What we're going to do is we're going to shorten these up a little bit. The way they're going to go on the sides of both, I think I got to put 90s on them anyway, so no sense fighting that in the ditch. So I got the return and the supply labeled with blue tape so I know who's who. But we're going to shorten these up and load her up and head on up there. All right, back at the hole. Might have to dump a little crushed in there so I don't go up to my knees in water. But What we're going to do, that line represents, I took a measurement earlier how long back to back that 90 is going to be, and that should be just inside our foundation, so it ends up right in the back of the shed. Theoretically, of course, I'm going to take this string down and just probably eyeball it with those two stakes. Once I get this, I'm going to square this off, try to get it notched with the concrete saw, and then I'm going to take the small jackhammer and try to jack a notch out there, and hopefully I can get it as close as I can to that, because that's going to pop out of the end of that, probably just 90 in through some bushings. I got to drill some holes, of course, and then it's going to come up to our new 3/4 supply lines that I pre-did earlier. So into the mud we go. All right, that actually notched pretty good with that masonry blade on that saw. I'm surprised how easy it went through. I did hit a piece of rebar, but that's good. I put a lot of rebar and mesh in this pad when I poured it for the boiler, so I'm just going to bring it up to that, tie it off, and that way that piece of rebar will still be holding on to that little chunk there. So no sense getting too close. At least it'll be hidden inside the slab, so if I you know, back there it's protected on the edges. So pretty impressed with this little Vevor jackhammer I bought. It's like 163 bucks, and it come with like 4 big spade bits and 2 chisel bits, and it went right through there nice. And it's got a little grease reservoir, so you just pop the cap and keep an eye on the grease. So why spend $1,200 for a Hildy? You know, especially for me, I'm not going to use it that often, but when you need one, it's nice to have one. So I think I'm going to clean that out a little bit and drop our pipe in and give us a little more working room and see what we got. Well, by gosh, this just might work. It's pretty close to our line, close enough where I can move it around a little bit. Gonna set up there good. At least that ditch didn't just totally fill up with water. So, but there's a couple holes in that drain pipe. I threw some of that crushed stone over there, so hopefully we do get a little bit. It can drop right down into that 12-incher and go right there. But the main heat conductors are surrounded by foam on the inside, and that extra is just you know, a little extra, and that should drain out if it's on the outside. So got her chained to the bank, try to keep her straight. Got her strapped to the rebar over there to keep it straight, and let's get those conduits in, and we can start pushing some dirt again. All right, we got our conduits in, got our 90s turned up. Gonna get a string through both these pipes, make sure they're clear, and then start doing some filling. All right, both the pipes are clear, got a string in them. Let's do some backfilling. Okay, rough backfill in. I think I'm gonna go over and put the landscape rake on the tractor, give that a few draws down through here. Then start getting an idea how bad off this grade is, and we'll start putting our 4x4s in there. We'll be back. And of course, like all fine pieces of equipment, you got to fix it first before you use it. Got to get air in these tires, and I got tine to replace. I've had them in the garage for about a month and a half. I just haven't had time to change them, so get that changed, and then we'll head back up. All right, I think we got our angle set, and our first timber down at the end, that is level right there. So that's the one we're going to work off of, and it's going to swallow that pipe up on the back side, so you won't see it from the driveway, and you really won't see that one. And then all our stuff is going to be hidden in the back. But we've got some more digging to do. But I don't think it's as bad as I initially thought it was. I already pushed some material down that way. So we're going to get her squared up. I got a bunch of that 3/8 rebar. I drill 3/8 holes in this and stake it. And then I guess I'll just go around and fill it from the back side maybe. then I can go back and forth with the machine and get as compact as we can. But like I say, this stuff's a lot of hard clay, so by the time that shed comes and we get our stone in there, we'll probably have to go back and rake it off, but hopefully we'll get something that doesn't settle too bad on us. 12 by 24 is a good sized building. Well, we got quite a bit of grade to make up. I think it's going to end up being like maybe a foot from end to end, but we're leaving this one end open, just kind of working it as we go, checking it, cross-checking it. That side's got pins in it so it won't move. That end's got pins in it. This one here, I got to get it underneath and then I'll drive a couple pins in that. But we get these set, then we got to tag those 10-footers on the end of those. And I guess I'm going to use some angle iron just to splice them for now, and once they get set I'll pin them all and hopefully we end up with something. Alright, we're done for today. Basically got the square done. Start packing some stone. Had to go to the creek, get 3 or 4 buckets of gravel to build that up. Actually kind of ended up coming up a foot on the end, so gonna have to go get some more stone, probably 3 or 4 more loads, and starting to see the end of this. Have a good night.